Hello, welcome to your next activity. So what we're going to be doing at the moment is edible pioneering. It was meant to be something else, but I didn't get all the kit. So in true Scout tradition, I've changed the activity. We're going to be doing edible pioneering. It also includes edible knots, but I'm only going to do 2 knots, so we can make it nice and easy for you. Right, so for our activity we need strawberry laces, licorice string, and we also need breadsticks. You can use any breadsticks you like, except that when I went to the shops they only had that type, but any breadstick will do. Or you can, if you really want to, use uncooked spaghetti. Don't try to use cooked spaghetti, you're wasting your time. Alright, so uncooked spaghetti, breadsticks, strawberry laces. Alright, so what we're going to be doing, I'm going to attempt to make a raft. And if I get it right, I can reward myself by eating it. Alright, so there's no wastage. Got my breadsticks ready. Make sure your surface is clean. I did clean this earlier, so don't be stressing out, alright? Everything's nice and tidy, everything's nice and clean. Also, my hands are clean as well. I'll make a fool of myself now, so I can't get the packet open. I'm going to have to use my teeth. I should use a pair of scissors, but in good Scout tradition, I didn't bring those either, so don't worry about that. Teeth are perfectly acceptable to use to open your licorice string. It is one of my favourite things to eat, is strawberry laces. I do have several packets of it in the house, which admittedly I just eat all by myself. And for those of us in the world that are a little bit obsessed, I do like to unravel it all and get it all in a straight line before I do anything. But it kind of helps this activity anyway. But I just like to have it all laid out in a line so I know how much I've got. And then I can I even like to try and get it sort of level as well, which is kind of taking things a little bit too far. But I generally do this. I get a little tray out the kitchen, I open up a licorice string, sometimes 2 packets if I've been extra good, and I just lay it all out. And then when I've got it all, I know how much I've got, how much I can sneakily eat before I've finished building, and then I can actually start doing something. The good thing about this is, of course, is if it breaks, no problem, because we're all half decent at doing our knots. We can just tie it together, or simply eat it and destroy the evidence, so there's never any faults. So you can't get this wrong. It's the best activity ever. Don't even need to get wet outside, just all inside, nice and warm. Oh yes, there are 2 types of scouts in the world. There are the indoor scout and the outdoor scout, and I'm an indoor scout. Can't be getting wet, and I don't do getting cold. That's for your Bear Grylls type. So for all your indoor scouts like me, this is a perfect activity. Then we get our breadsticks, which kind of handily, I don't know if you can see that from there, they kind of look like logs. So I've got some good ones there. So I'm going to lay all these out. I don't need all of them. I'm going to use probably, I don't know, let's have a look. 6. I'm going to use 6. 6 for my raft. So the first knot I'm going to show you, just because it's nice and easy, I'm going to show you a reef knot. And there is a slight rhyme for your reef knot. It's left over right and under, right over left and under. So it's dead easy. So it's left, as you're looking at the camera for me, left over the right, wrap it under, and then it's the right over the left and wrap it under. And it kind of looks like that, and you can pull it tight. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. It's got a fancy shape. It's quite flat. It's a flat knot. And the reason why we like this one is because it's good with first aid. So if you've got to tie a sling, which you may find out with different activity, because it's a flat knot, when you're tying a sling for a broken arm, it sits nice and flat against the back of your neck. So it's not going to annoy anybody any further, because they've got enough to think about with a broken arm. But with a nice flat knot, it's comfy on the back of their head, so we use it for that. But it's also good for finishing off any sort of knot that you got tied for your raft building. Now the other one we're going to use for our raft building today is a clove hitch. Now there's a fancy rhyme for that as well, but like a good Scout leader that I am, I can't remember it. But what I can do is show you an easy way of doing it. It's dead easy. You need to just make one loop, so you twist like that, make a loop. That's one loop with the licorice string goes on top. Then you do a second loop So you've got 2 loops, you can just about see those 2 loops there, just about. Then you put that loop on top of that one, and then you simply pull it tight, like that. Now if you look at my finger there, you've got a cross shape on the top, and on the other side you've just got two loops. So it's your cross shape and 2 loops. That's your clovage. It's excellent for tying round logs, and because you haven't got to remember the daft rhyme, you can simply just loop it over the logs. So it's nice and easy. It's a nice cheat knot, the clovage, for scout leaders, but it's very, very handy for raft building. So you start off with that one. So I'm going to start off with my clovage. I'm going to loop it around my logs, and then I'm going to walk closer to the camera so you can see it in a little bit. So I'm going to loop that on there and pull it tight. There we go, that's on there. And I am going to walk closer to the camera so you can see it. So excuse me if I go out of shot, but I'm still here. So you should be able to see. There it is, slightly out of focus. But you can see that cross on the top. And on the other side you've got your 2 loops. That's your clovage. It works excellent as a beginner knot for your logs or for your edible pioneering. I'm back again. Right, so now you've got that, now you can start building your raft. Now this bit, there's no technical skill to this bit, so you can just wrap it in and out, just so long as it holds. None of us are Bear Grylls, we're not after perfection here. We just want to have a nice time and get our raft built. And because it's not a real raft, it's only a breadstick raft, we don't even need to go on the water with it, do we? So we're not going to get wet, because scout leaders don't like getting wet, do they? They don't half moan, scout leaders, when they get wet. Oh, did you hear that? Look at that, I broke my log. Oh my goodness me, we're going to sink. This is a disaster. It's not so much of a disaster that we can't carry on though. I'll go over there like that. Wrap that around there. And then I'll put my last one on. And then what I'll do is I will tie that off at the other end. In fact, no, yeah, I will. I'll tie it off at the other end. This isn't going to be pretty, is it? But like I said, we're not looking for prettiness. We're looking for kind of something like that. And then what I'll do is I'll tie that off with the other end. Like that. Yeah. Right, that's that in like that. Now if we had proper big logs and proper rope, then obviously we'd have barrels attached to this and it would look a little bit neater. But we're only using licorice string, aren't we? Now I'm going to use my other clove hitch yet again. Get my clove hitch on there, like so. Loop it over the end, pull it tight. Let's neaten that up a bit. There's my clove hitch. I know it's right because I can see it's right. All I need to do is start wrapping it round my logs. Oh, I've just snapped my other end off. That was clever of me. Oh, I've snapped my log in the middle. Never mind. I'm sure that no one's going to notice. And you won't tell anybody, will you? Look at that, made a complete pig's ear of that, haven't I? But you get the point. You get the gist. Dear oh dear. I've snapped it again. This is not going very well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It's not so much as a raft as, well, the Titanic. Look at this wonderful raft I've made. What I've actually made, I've changed my design halfway through. I've decided not to build a raft. I decided to build a representation of your woodpile. Look at that. Now who can say that doesn't look like the woodpile back at your campsites? I think I'm a genius. So, yeah. Edible pioneering. What I suggest we do is start again. So what I will do is I will make instead something of a kind of triangle structure. And the reason why I'm going to do a triangle structure is because everything that we do in pioneering usually starts with some sort of a triangle. So if you think about what a tent looks like, it's got triangles all over it. Flagpole, triangles all over it. Certain structures of, or certain parts of rafts, again, triangles all over it. So if you can build your triangle and start off with that, then you're halfway there really, to be honest with you. So let's get that round there. Again, we don't have to be an absolute genius at tying knots. We just have to get it so it's fairly secure. Like that, get that round there. Now, if you are a knot scouting guru, then by all means, please do use the bestest, fanciest knots that you know. But so long as you start off well, like I said, with something like a clove hitch or something like that, then generally speaking, you're going to be alright. And then finish it off with what the cubs will say or call a granny knot, which will just hold on there, nice and tight. And that, when it's done, will look like that, and there will be another one that looks like that. It'll stand like that when it's all built up. Then you've had another one this way, over here, like that. And then one that goes across the top, that will actually make a tent, which will look a bit like that. I'm not going to build it, so we're going to run out of time. But you can see where we're going with that, with the edible pioneering. And then, of course, when you're done with all that, you can show it to all your mates. And then when it's all completely done, you can eat it. You can't say fairer than that. Even the wood pile that we made earlier, I'm going to eat that as well. So I'm going to leave that to you. I do apologise it didn't go quite to plan, but I hope this makes the cut, because sometimes the best plans are the ones that go to the wall, as it were. So yes, good evening, or good day, and we'll see you for your next activity. Thank you very much.